Hi, I'm William, aspiring politician, patriot, hard Brexit supporter and proud Conservative voter. I've decided to make my own documentary on Brexit. It's been over 2 years since the referendum, we're still not out and our country is still divided between those who support Brexit and those who were wrong. You might begin to ask yourself, does Brexit still mean Brexit? Or did it used to mean Brexit? And now there's no Brexit left in the word, Brexit. It's in times like these that 52% of British people must consolidate and remember what Brexit really is and why we're doing it. Today, I'm going to give you the straight, unbiased, real facts on how leaving Europe has always been the best thing for you, for me, and for the British Empire. Britain, 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 Britain. A little island nation that at one point ruled a quarter of the globe, spreading our inventions and influences far and wide. We won wars against the violent uneducated, imperial tyrants and evil dictators, saving the world more than once. We're a special nation with a history and a reputation to be proud of. So why did we join? And why must we leave? We joined the European Union in 1973, primarily to stabilise our country's economy, which worked. But don't be fooled, that is just a little thing. Ever since joining 46 years ago, endless negative events have happened. The pound declined, Princess Diana died, and now there's a woman in the TARDIS. Coincidence? You decide. This is the EU. For years, the European Union has been scheming against us, trying to inflict all sorts of terrible changes upon our country. But what the EU didn't reckon to is the professional British press, The Sun, the Daily Mail and the Express, to name a few. Thanks to these heroes' honest efforts, these evil schemes have been exposed. And here is a disgusting selection of them. Kent, known as the Garden of England, is a beautiful county of ours. Not for much longer though, the EU wants to give it to France! What belongs in a church and goes ding? Nothing now! Cleavage. Who isn't a fan of graceful curves? The EU, who is basically gay. Eating confectionery competitively is fun and a fundamental part of our culture. But the EU wants to destroy it! The EU isn't even happy at stealing Kent. They want to rename the English Channel Le Pond. Farm animals to be treated with dignity? Not according to the EU. Wave goodbye to bananas. The EU wants them destroyed. You make me sick. But we found out about your schemes, EU. And in Britain, we say to you one thing. Not today. Why do Britons like tea? Because tea leaves. Now, I'm sure you enjoyed that sword fight, but now let's look into the problems we have of being in the EU and how Brexit solves them. At this point, you might ask, what is the difference between a hard and a soft Brexit? A hard Brexit is good. The good news is, at this stage, a no deal is looking likely. So, the following information, consisting of problems and solutions, is based off the hard, proper Brexit that we all want and voted for. Problem: immigrants. Currently, any immigrant already living in an EU country can charge through our borders and stay for up to 3 months before we can legally kick them out. However, the immigrants often lie about how long they've been inside Britain, so they never get deported. A shocking study revealed more lies, showing that 90% of refugees and asylum seekers actually got in by making up wars they claimed they were fleeing from, with multiple cases claiming they were fleeing British atrocities in the Boer War, when those happened over 100 years ago. Statistically, most of these immigrants and so-called asylum seekers do one of 2 things: sit on their bums or try to blow everyone up. Those that do work take British jobs. Look, there he goes. For example, the Norfolk farming community have noted that there are so many coloured immigrants working for them, their fields look like 18th century slave plantations. Except, of course, they're not slaves. They're on $3.50 an hour. Solution: leaving will allow us to take back control of our borders and end this rubbish. These are our borders right now. These are our borders after Brexit. Yeah? Get lost, foreigners. And then, with the immigrants gone, you'll be free to take back British jobs, such as picking cabbages in sunny fields, or, once the NHS have had their foreign job-stealing foreign staff deported, there will be plenty of positions there. Problem: we give the European Union £350 million every week. And a study confirms most of this is spent on stupid things. Solution: it was indeed mentioned that we would fund the NHS with the £350 million after Brexit. However, recent research has indicated that the NHS is now fine, and the money can be better spent on sensible things and covering the cost of leaving. Problem: the EU makes 5% of our laws, but when this figure is rounded, this equates to nearly all of them. We no longer have control over ourselves. Solution: leaving will allow us to control ourselves and regain sovereignty once again. But this isn't the only saving grace. 500 odd years ago, a law was made that it is legal to shoot a Welshman with a bow and arrow in Chester. Ever since we joined, the EU has stopped us from making this illegal. And for Welsh people, scenes like this can't be far from reality. The fact that killing people is legal, even if it's with a bow, and even if they're Welsh, is a terrifying security threat, because it makes fertile ground for people like these, terrorists, who practice their trade as we speak. This has to change before he kills a man. Problem: being in the EU single market means that British businesses have free movement of goods, services and capital to 500 million people. These facts sound great, but underneath them lies one word: immigrants! And underneath that, one more word: no. Solution: when we leave, while we can no longer functionally trade with the EU, we can form new trade deals with new countries, such as Australia. Watch as my political idol, Jacob Rees-Mogg, destroys concerns over Australian hormone-treated beef.
The research on what hormone-treated beef is believed to do to human beings is quite capacious. That's why they can sell it more cheaply.
I trust Australian standards just as much as I trust Irish.
Yes, but Ireland don't give hormones to their beef cattle.
I'm not worried about that, and it's very high-quality beef.
If the Mogg trusts it, we can all trust it. Although some trade deals can take up to a decade to secure, it is thought that the government will easily be able to fill the gap by stepping up arms deals with angry Middle Eastern people. And after solving all these issues, all the Ramonas can do is complain about the one problem Brexit supposedly creates. In the case of a hard, proper Brexit, without the backstop, the border between Northern and Southern Ireland will almost definitely have to be refortified in the form of a wall and checkpoints. This is because Southern Ireland will remain in the grubby hands of the European Union and be subject to the EU's own border checks. Sceptics will claim that the installation of a Berlin Wall in the middle of Ireland may have an effect on the peace agreement with the IRA. However, the remilitarisation of the border and mobilisation of British troops would allow us to finish what we started. The invasion of Ireland. Such a move would kill all the aggravated potato terrorists and unite Ireland under British rule. And maybe, just maybe, herald the start of a new British Empire. So now you see, Brexit is flawless and is steered by the confident, guiding hand of the rich but caring elite. And just as Boris Johnson, our probable new Prime Minister, said,
that Brexit means Brexit, and we are going to make a titanic success of it. So thank you.
So, let us break free from the EU and go forth on our new journey, looking to the future as a free, sovereign country. Because Brexit, after all, means Brexit. Go, 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 go. Once the immigrants have gone, fuck me. You're a posh sod with plums in your mouth.